This is the story of the guys who get back together for one last road trip to Myrtle Beach before they hang up their stripper thongs, because we're led to believe in this movie that stripper culture is a real thing. And that was one of my huge problems with it, because it's not a real thing. And when it is a real thing, it is depressing and bleak and involves a tremendous amount of heroin. But there's not.
Wow.
There is
not for these guys. They're healthy.
Not for these guys. They're all super handsome and they're driving a food truck to Myrtle Beach, and it's the most unrealistic things I have seen in a year. And it's all for one big last hurrah. And along the way, they go to the stripper convention, which I doubt exists.
It does. It's a real thing. I looked it up, and Matt Bomer even said so in an interview with Ellen.
Okay, well, it's not like that. And one of the here's a little before we roll the clip. There's a little thing about like, oh no, how are we going to get an MC for the stripper convention? Oh, I don't know. Go to the Myrtle Beach CBS affiliate, ask the weatherman to go, and here comes Rock and Thunder! And you've got your MC. Here it is. I thought this was mind-numbingly dull. I thought this was Showgirls dull.
Like, hey, don't talk smack about Showgirls.
First you trash Rush. No, that's you trashing Rush.
I didn't trash Rush.
It's so...
Showgirls is a misunderstood art film.
It's so plotting. It is so slow. Like, come on, move. Fill the gaps after the other person finishes speaking.
Cops and cowboys or whatever, but their own dreams and ambitions. You know which doesn't make it a better movie, but it's an interesting idea.
Which is why I think that precisely this is about something. I know you think it's about nothing. I think in a really cheesy Oprah-ish way, it's about finding your purpose.
No.
No, it absolutely is. No, it is. Because they have to all find out, if you're not really a fireman or a cop beneath the breakaway pants, then who are you? And they have to figure out, like, where does the inspiration come from, and why do they care, and why do they bother, and why do they have this life?
Okay,
and so they figure out who they are.
It is about that, but you're also right in that it is super boring.
He was yelling and screaming
funny
about
because I saw it at the next morning at 10:30, and while there wasn't...
That's no fun.
Yeah.
See, nobody's drunk
Ben,
then.
come on. Like, nobody goes and sees strippers at 10:30 in the morning.
That's
just sad.
You don't know my life.
That's reality.
I have learned the hard way. The 10:30 a.m. stripper, that's sad.
Come to the breakfast buffet.
We had a couple of drinks ahead of time.
Yeah, so
I
believe your numbers are massively influenced by atmosphere.
And alcohol.
Could be.
I just thought my theater was silent, and it just didn't, literally nothing landed.
Worse than you and Christy seeing that movie where those people were having sex in the theater?
That was fun. That was Sucker Punch.
That was Sucker Punch.
People were fucking in the balcony at Sucker Punch.
Yeah.
And
who could blame them?
I just can't believe I liked Terminator significantly better than this. I gave it a 1.8.
You are so wrong.
It was terrible.
I do
just
think
like
you saw it in
Pitch
the
Perfect
wrong place.
Right.
No, it's not like that, because Pitch Perfect 2 is the exact same movie as the first one. This at least takes a chance at doing something a little different. I admire it for
no
that.
chance. It's like an after-school special.
It's not the exact same movie as the first movie. No, the thing with
Don't go
Pitch
see
Perfect 2,
stripper movies at 10:30 a.m.
That's your problem.
Moral of the story, don't see the matinee of Magic Mike.
By
And
yourself.
don't see it sober, apparently.
Yeah,
All
don't
right.
that's, by the way, I will support that. Don't go see Magic Mike at 10:30 by yourself.
You were too
There's
sober.
your blurb. There's your blurb.
So this movie does what it needs to do for the people that it needs to do it for, and that is almost enough. If you are a 12-year-old girl, if I were a 12-year-old girl, which I am in here, I feel like I would love this because they're young and they're beautiful and they're doomed and they have, you know, a nice chemistry with each other. I know you think that Schwarzenegger's
so generous.
No, they are.
Bella Thorne, I think, is an interesting actress when she is playing like bitchy characters, and I've seen her do it really well, and I find her really entertaining. As a sweet, nice girl, she is a snooze.
No, but she has the comic timing that she's honed over years of the Disney Channel machine. Don't you think? No, you don't think so?
No, didn't care about the characters. I didn't like either of the main performances. That scene where she performs in Seattle is hilarious because dozens of people just within a few notes miraculously start gathering around and clapping along
of
for
all
this
ages and ethnicities.
for this one busking girl with no amplification, and the songs aren't very good. The songs are not. She's a singer-songwriter, and the songs are not good. And I bought 2 tracks off of the Gem and the Holograms movie soundtrack. I'm not the toughest customer for this, and even I was not buying.
You guys are arguing a lot, considering how close your scores are. Your scores are not that far apart. I'm just going to say.
Mine is higher, spoiler.
Really fast. It's terrible, but it's not like delightfully terrible enough.
Listen, this movie would have been a lot better with Luis Guzman instead of Ryan Guzman. I'm just saying that would have made this movie amazing.
A heavy-set Latino man moved next door, and she couldn't resist.
But he's gonna fix
the Puerto Rican
cars.
version of me.
Right,
He fixes cars and he cleans out storm drains.
And he's
and
super
sexy.
talented. He can play anything. Yeah.
Exactly.
Is this movie good in a bad way? Is it fun?
Sometimes.
Not enough.
Sometimes.
It's not over the top enough for me. I don't think so.
It could be more over the top, but I can't say I had a bad time at the movie.
That's right. That's
We
right.
had
Now,
fun together, didn't we?
We did have fun. This is a movie we're laughing at and not necessarily with.
I think
right?
they're in on the joke.
I can't tell. I don't.
J-Lo in a series of like see-through, clingy, ass-hugging negligees.
I didn't find that to be a joke.
No, but they're in on the fact
First
that
half of the
that's
movie, like
ridiculously
they
fun.
forgot to give her bras, and I'm okay with that.
She does go jogging.
Just there's so many super painful moments that to me don't make any sense. At one point, John Corbett and the son, whose name is Kevin. Everybody's got a dumb name for this. And
We apologize to all the Kevins
Sorry,
out
Kevins.
there. Sorry, Kevin.
yeah,
Let's
I
look up the
take it.
actor's
I immediately take that back. The so John Corbett and Kevin are in the she goes into the kitchen, and it turns out that the whatever his name is not Luis Guzman.
Character's name is Noah.
Ryan Guzman is
Noah.
there, right? And that's our big reveal is that, oh my God, she comes back. Oh, but he's on the couch. He won't leave her alone. He's stalking her. And then he comes into the kitchen, and she's all flustered. He comes up behind her. And he says, he's got a video of their sex scene. He's blackmailing her. And he's like, who am I going to show it to next? Am I going to show it to your boss? Or am I going to show it to Kevin? He says it out loud. And Kevin goes, yeah. And he goes, you want a soda? And Kevin goes, yeah, that sounds great. And it's just like nobody offers nobody in the history of the world has anyone said, you want a soda, and the other person said, that sounds great. There's no specificity. You can say, sure,
Yeah,
thanks.
yes, please, thank you.
Yes, please, thank you.
If it's
Nobody
a giant
says
ginger
what
ale,
kind,
it's a
anything.
car chase.
Right, but then there's a car accident in it, which I thought was looked like a after-school special.
Right, that looked like crap, right?
Yeah, that looked
the
bad.
overhead
That looked like
shots
somebody
looked
else
crap.
did that.
Right.
Well,
right,
It's kind
there's-
of funny, and
right.
no one's actually hurt.
We get a
Yeah, it's
flashback, and this is not a huge spoiler because we find out that the parents are dead, and we get a flashback to the accident. And I love any movie that there's some accident and the car just immediately.
Right.
Like apparently that minivan was made of dynamite.
At the same time, there's a giant barn.
Finished with dynamite,
Right.
yeah.
There's a giant barn on fire at one point that never ever collapses.
Right.
It's on fire forever. So
Boy, and I had the beginning of that barn pegged, didn't I?
you totally called it. You
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, so
and
This would be a really great pilot
Yes.
for a cable show about a complicated woman,
I was thinking that too.
and about a complicated woman whose backstory would be explained later. This movie never gets around to that.
I guess there are some vague allusions to why she is the way she is, but not enough to make her feel like a real person
No,
ever.
she's this collection of sort of quirks and eccentricities and driven things and pill popping and whatever, and she's acting. Jessica Chastain is acting the crap out of this, but it's so badly written. And just the not just her character, but the movie takes these Act 3 swings of the fence that are like, wait, what? That don't work at all.
Yeah, and as you say, like if there were more time and more space to develop all that, the aha stuff that happens toward the end might hit harder. It might not just seem like, what?
Yeah.
I like this a lot more than you guys did. I give it an 8.5.
Okay.
Then I don't want to hear shit about Bad Santa 2 if you
Listen,
thought
this is
well written.
This is the bad side to a
Listen,
political lobby.
my liking this, in the face of you guys not liking it, it's far less embarrassing than you liking it.
I'm
Just so that we're clear.
I'm not embarrassed. I'm
Well,
not
you
embarrassed.
should. That's the problem.
slightest.
Is that you should.
Okay, our average is 6.9, and it is at 70. We're all punching. The
Happy
holidays are
Thanksgiving.
coming. We're punching. It's at 72%.
Polish currency.
This movie is 3 times better than Transformers 2, and it still sucked. Alonso?
Yeah, that's pretty much true. Okay, that I have to summarize the plot is going to give me a migraine, but it comes to this. When the Autobots and the Decepticons were fighting, the one Autobot got away with a powerful weapon but then crashed on the other side of the moon. So JFK sends astronauts to find the crashed thing, and then Optimus Prime gets it back, and it's a big vibrator that makes a bridge across the universe, and the Decepticons. Well, I don't know.
That's pretty close, though. That's pretty good.
There were some cool moments, I must say, and mainly sort of the batsuits and the building,
The collapsing building.
the collapsing
was very
building,
cool.
and whether it was going to actually go, and the sliding back and
Oh
forth.
boy, in a 2-hour-plus movie, those are like
2:34.
Yeah, it
those
didn't
are
get
some
long at all.
short little things of coolness buried in a lot of.
There's like an hour of cool. And then there's like a half an hour of Rosie Huntington
20
Wiley's
minutes
ass.
maybe.
31. I'll give him 31 minutes of cool.
No, the whole Chicago thing is impressive, and it's like almost an hour long.
No, the whole Chicago thing is not
No,
impressive.
no.
I saw it in Chicago, and I found it very disconcerting to walk out of the theater and see the city still intact.
Really, it was
There's the
disconcerting.
Wrigley Building. It's
You
still
were-
there.
You were concerned that giant robots were going to come
As-
and take over?
Giant talking robots.
And she doesn't get a smudge on her white jacket, no matter how much devastation is happening. In
She's
Chicago.
usually, in white pants or a white dress. I like when she's standing there in slow motion and her hair is blowing all over the place and shit's just blowing up left and right all behind her. But
Oh.
she's like,
No, yeah, there's one shot where she literally she stares at the camera, blank face, her jaw is sort of agape, and like an SUV is flipping over in midair behind her. I'm like, wow, that's the Michael Bay aesthetic in one.
So number Ben Mankiewicz, Alonso Duralde, Ben Atchity, Christy Lemire. We're starting with Exodus,
Colon.
colon,
Gods and Kings.
Gods and Kings.
It's a long title.
I don't understand why, before we begin, well, Alonso, describe the movie, and then we'll come back about why the necessity of the colon.
The title is the least of the problems, by the way. Go ahead.
When Cameron was in Egypt. No, wrong one. Moses and the Pharaoh and the frogs, and you know this story already. Take a look.
First of all, this is a stupid story.
Whoa!
But why is this movie different from all
Yeah.
other movies, Ben?
Who wrote this crap?
And why do we eat
Tell
the
us.
and why do we eat the bitter herb?
Right, yeah.
Right? Why is this movie different from all other movies? Why on this movie was I reclining?
Why was I dozing?
Right. It is what, 2.5 hours?
Yup.
Basically, and I mean,
40 years.
and
in the desert?
but it really felt like 3.5, 340. It felt like a really, really long movie.
The most interesting performance is John Turturro as the Pharaoh, I think.
Totally. He's a little fun.
Yeah.
He's the only fun.
And he's at least
no point
vaguely
does it say,
Mediterranean, you know.
don't mess with the Jesus. This is the movie to say that,
also,
right?
a couple just real quick things.
I was embarrassed for Sigourney
I wish
Weaver.
Why is she in this? Why is
That's
Ben
what I was gonna say.
Kingsley
Sigourney
in this?
Weaver,
Right.
Ben Kingsley, Aaron Paul, like 3 big-time people now for different reasons, and they have almost nothing to do. Those
Yeah.
roles were wasted. Did they?
Hayat
Money talks.
Abbas as Christian Bale's mother, too. Has nothing to do. She gets like 2 lines.
Who's the slinky, corrupt official who winds up?
Ben Mendelsohn.
That's Ben Mendelsohn. Okay, he's kind of fun and
He's a little fun.
he's camping it up a little, which this movie needed a lot
John
more
Turturro
of.
and Ben Mendelsohn.
It's not gay enough. Not unlike the Imitation Game.
It needed more it needed Ann Baxter, Moses, it needed somebody to jazz
Do you
this up.
feel
'cause
like,
God, it's
and
good.
I'm not a paranoid Jew in this sense.
You're just paranoid.
Did they hook the noses up a little bit on some of those Jews? Like they seemed like, I'm like, is Ben Kingsley's nose that big? Did they? I don't know. I had this moment of
Well, compared to Christian Bale,
I guess.
yes.
I don't know. I don't know. I was like, wow, that seemed a little Mel Gibson-y there. But maybe I'm wrong. I'd be curious whether anybody else says it when it comes out. Anyway, this blows.
Numbers. Let's give our low numbers now. What's yours?
3.5. It's terrible. Not worth seeing. Not worth
Alonso Duralde.
4.7.
for the sets.
And the plagues, for some of the plagues.